Good morning, starshine. 11:37 Central Time, United States of America. This here's Donald Dumb Country. Donald Trump Country. Missouri, USA. Oh my God. Good morning. Good morning. Just thought we'd listen to a little bit of the Vice President's latest salad of words. How you say salad of words? On the campaign trail in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh my God. Where, of course, women are suffering under the massive thumb of the patriarchy, evil. They're evil, all of them. Men are evil in Georgia. We all know that. Brandon Trueblood is here. Hello. Mr. Mega Hamster. Hey, I'm using my fruit fly avatar, Brandon, just because you made it for me. You see? Let me see. Can make it big game again? There it is. Boom. Look at that. Fruit fly battle outfit. She tosses. SE, good morning, sir. How are you? Good to see you. So yeah, she's spewing a bunch of nonsense about the sacrament of Smith Mortion, because that's all she's got. And unfortunately, it appears to be working. But I mean, it's I titled the video Motte and Baily because that's all she can do. What is a Motte and Baily? Oh, you guys know it, right? It is simply making some broad, kind of hard to defend statement, the Baily, and then when pressed on that statement, you retreat to the Motte. But what about rape and incest? What about the health of the mother? See, never want to talk about the old Baily, do we? Because that is the problem. 90%, 99% of Smith Mortion is for convenience, and oh, but what if she wanted to go to college and she wasn't ready to be a mother? And oh my God, you hate women. Okay, let's say the same thing about men. What if he's not ready to become a father? Does he get a get out of jail free card? Does he get to punch out? No. But see, that's different because women for millions of fucking years have been oppressed by the patriarchy and shit, and that is fine. So let's listen to a little bit of this vomit-inducing. What do they call those? And what is the Epicac syrup? Vomit-inducing garbage. Here we go.
It is a fight for the future.
Yeah.
And it is a fight for freedom.
Yes, freedom for women, but not for men with respect to reproductive rights, right? What about the other half of the population that has no say in any of this stuff, and yet we still get to pay, even if we're not ready to become a father? I was going to go to college, but I'm not ready to become a mother. Oh, no problem. Here, get your baby sucked out with a vacuum cleaner. I'm going to be forced to become a father. I was going to go to college. Tough fucking shit, bro. You shouldn't have had sex. You should have used birth control, right? How many times have you heard that one? Well, you shouldn't have had sex. Well, what about her? Oh, it's different. Because we got to keep the whoring and the baby killing going, boys. That's what the Democrat Party is all about. Jesus, go ahead.
For freedom. And we know in America...
See, because without submission, women wouldn't have the freedom to do what? To fuck with no responsibility required. Is that the freedom we're talking about? Why don't you say it, Madam Vice President? Why don't you say what you really mean? No. She's a politician. She'll never do that.
Freedom is not to be given.
Oh.
It is not to be bestowed.
I see.
It is ours by right.
Ours by right. I see.
It is ours by right. And that includes the fundamental freedom of a woman. To be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do.
But what about men? Is that a whataboutism? Fucking right it is. Because nobody ever talks about it. What about men? Why shouldn't men have the same opportunity to opt out of becoming a parent? And he's not ready. Not a fucking word. Nothing. And you would You would expect that to be par for the course because men suck because we're evil. And if she had intercourse, it's because he forced her. He coerced her. He fed her drinks. No, women have no free will. It's just men imposing themselves on women. What a bunch of horse shit. James, Michelle Guevara's here. Wicked's Bane. Oh my God. Where is the freedom to? It's not. It never was. And it never will be. Again, remember, constitutional amendments would take, what, 38 states voting? That gonna happen. But go on, Vice President Harris. Tell us how evil men are. Or something. I don't know.
Yes, we must trust women.
I do trust women. I trust the vast majority of women in this country. Remember, we've gone over this argument again. I won't beat the dead horse. Billions of times a year, people are bumping uglies in this country, right? Billions of times a year, probably tens of billions. And yet there seem to be about 750 to a million of these women who can't figure out how this works. They can't put two and two together. P and V with no BC, you could get yourself a boobala. How fucking hard is this? It's not that hard at all.
And we all know how we got here.
Yeah. We did. How did we? I'm sorry. Maybe you're talking about a different path to get here, wherever here is. We're playing the location game this time.
When Donald Trump was president,
oh God,
he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court.
Just like every other president has ever done in the history of the country. They select Supreme Court nominees. Wow, that Donald Trump, he's an evil son of a bitch, isn't he? Well, some states did. Kansas and Missouri actually, SCE, you bring it up. We have a constitutional amendment. I think it's Amendment 3 that would put it in the Constitution of Missouri. And I don't think that's going to pass. But you never know. There's a lot of baby killers in Kansas City and St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of yeah. We have a vote in November, I guess, in a month roughly. Go ahead.
The Court of Thurgood and RBG.
Mm-hmm. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who said Roe was a shitty law. By the way, did you? Oh, it's in down the memory hole. Go ahead.
With the intention that they would overturn the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as he intended, they did.
Well, that's what the Supreme Court does. Vice President Harris, that's what they do.
And now more than 20 states have Trump abortion bans.
Excuse me. Madam Vice President.
And now more than 20 states have Trump abortion bans.
Okay, so the overturning of Roe happened in 2022. Donald Trump was not in power. He was not the president, and he signed no law to ban abortion anywhere in this country. What kind of horseshit are you serving up today, Madam Vice President? Now, I get it. It's politics. She's going to label Trump. He's the evil. Yeah, I get it. But let's be completely honest. Trump wasn't in office, and he didn't sign any ban for abortion. And he's already said he will not sign a ban for abortion if reelected president. But go ahead and work your base up, because those 304s in the audience, they gotta get them some baby killing going on.
Extremists that have passed laws that criminalize healthcare providers, doctors, and nurses, and punish women. In 2 states of those states, they provide for prison for life.
Oh no!
Prison for life.
For whom?
For healthcare providers, for simply
the woman. Right. Did you see her little linguistic sleight of hand there? Did you hear it? Let's go back.
Providers, doctors, and nurses, and punish women. In 2 states, healthcare providers, doctors, and nurses, and punish women.
And she just corrected herself. It's not punishing women. It's punishing people who do the abortion. Now, I have to say personally, I would not agree with any of that kind of stupid shit. I wouldn't. I think some of these states have some really fucked up laws. But let's look at, I've got a phone here. Oh, so there's something called KFF. Is that Kaiser Foundation or something? Whatever. They're pro-aborts. Exceptions to state abortion bans on and early gestational limits in effect as of July 29th, just a month ago or so. All states in the United States have an exception if the woman's life is in danger. In other words, if the pregnancy is going to kill the woman, she can get an abortion in all 50 states. That seems fair to me now, doesn't it? Does it? Yes, it does. Of course, you don't want the mother to die. It's unfortunate. But if between her and the baby, I'm sorry. Radical Rafter is in the building. Okay, go on, Vice President.
In 2 states of those states?
I don't know which states those are. It's probably Texas and Alabama. I don't know.
They provide for prison for life.
Mm-hmm. For?
Prison for life.
For
healthcare providers, for simply
for healthcare providers, yes.
Providing reproductive care, the care they so earnestly and rightly believe must be delivered.
Mm-hmm. Well, in those states where these laws are in effect, last time I checked, Vern, the people of those states can elect people to change those laws or petition their government in their state to change the law. Democracy. Remember how much you were talking about that? Well, now you got it. Now you got democracy. And God damn it, don't you know they hate it when people don't agree with their point of view? Don't you? Go on.
All Trump abortion bans.
Yeah.
And think about this. Many of these bans make no exception even for rape and incest.
Okay, that is partially true. There are some states, and God knows why, but I can probably think of a few reasons, but I don't want to go down that path. Let's just say a lot of those things would be very hard to prove, and it could involve legal things and could involve perhaps men being accused of this activity, even if they're not guilty, just so she could go. Okay. There is no rape exception, incest exception in 10 states: South Dakota, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Alabama. The rest of the states have those exceptions. So I don't necessarily agree with their point of view, but I'm not a resident of Texas, so I can't vote there. The people of Texas have to figure this one out, right? And the federal government, as we have discovered from the decision from the Supreme Court, has no say in this matter. It is not constitutional. It's not in their purview. They don't got to say nothing about it, right? Well, we're going to pass it. No, you're not. That's constitutional. You don't have the authority. Go on.
Now, many of you know I started my career as a prosecutor, specializing in crimes of violence against women and children.
Is she going to tell us she grew up in a middle-class family? I can't wait.
What many of you may not know is why.
There you go, RO. You can vote in Texas, and if enough people vote, get together and say, hey, this is kind of fucked up. We need to change this law. Make the people in Austin listen to your voice, and they'll change it. Vote them out. Vote other people in. The problem is, if you vote other people in, usually this topic comes packed with a bunch of other socialist horse shit. And Austin's fucking crazy the way it is. But there you go. That's what we're supposed to do. If you don't like the laws, talk to your government in your state and get the law changed. There you go.
So when I was in high school, my best friend, I learned, was being molested by her stepfather.
Okay. Oh, there's Rand Paul. Hello. Go ahead.
Biden administration finally agreed to ban Peter Daszak and EcoHealth Alliance from receiving any more funding.
Okay.
And
let's go back.
Was being molested by her stepfather.
Okay, so this is the Motte and Baily, obviously. She's going for a corner case discussion, which is a horrible situation, if true. That's terrible. Very, very difficult to deal with. That's the one that's really hard. Because if you are a 12-year-old kid, you might not even know what's going on, right? You get pregnant. It's a horrible situation. It really is. but it's the Motte and Baily. It's the corner case. Most of the vast majority, 99% of abortion, is not the corner cases. We never talk about that. That's the Baily. Or I'm sorry, this is the Baily, and the Motte is, right, the corner case. Whatever. Go. Well, actually, the Motte would be something like, why do you don't want women to have the right to do with their own bodies or whatever, right? The hard part is you put the argument out there about kids getting, abused and criminal activity. That's an easy one. I mean, who wants that to happen? Nobody. What about the 99% of the other cases? Do we want to talk about those? Nope, we don't.
And I said to her, look, you got to come and stay with us. I called my mother. She said, of course she does. And she came and she stayed with us.
Okay, good.
And so I made the decision early in my life that I wanted to do the work that was about protecting the most vulnerable among us.
And that would be women, right? Always victims, MGTOW outlaw, hello.
And doing the work that was about giving them dignity in the process.
Okay, all right.
And so, thank
you
everybody here for being here, standing in solidarity around the importance of that.
The importance of smooshing.
And so I say to you then, from that experience and from the work that I've done, the idea that someone who survives a crime of violence to their body, a violation of their body,
yes,
would not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next?
Yeah, well, that's 10 states, and they need to get their shit together, because I think that's but again, it opens up a big can of worms. But hey, it's the people of the states that have to figure it out. Vice President, not you. It's the people in those states. Most of them majority female. So go, you know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
That's immoral. And let us agree, and I know we do. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government should not be telling her what to do.
Yes, and that's exactly what Donald Trump said. We do not have the authority to tell women what to do. Their state governments do. And of course, the advantage there is you're closer to your state government. You actually live with the people that you elect. Unlike Washington, D.C., because the reason Roe was put into place is because they knew they didn't have the votes. They knew they couldn't get an amendment. They couldn't even get the Equal Rights Amendment. Funny, remember when, Matt, do you guys remember? Let's go on a little tangent here. Do you remember when Biden was first elected? Virginia passed the Equal Rights Amendment, or whatever. They rescinded their rescinding. They put back into effect the Equal Rights Amendment. Oh, now we're past 38. Now we're going to, it's going to be in the Constitution. Rah, 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 fucking rah. When cooler heads prevailed and they understood what that would do, remove all special goodies for females, make them eligible for the draft, no special education things, nothing. Because you cannot discriminate based on sex under the Equal Rights Amendment. That went bye-bye in a big fucking hurry, didn't it? Nobody even talks about it. I wonder why. Wouldn't that be a big thing for Vice President Harris to keep bringing it? Oh my God, we're going to pass the Equal Rights Amendment. Nothing. You haven't heard boo. Because those in real power said, nix that. That's a stupid idea. Because it would actually remove a lot of these special privileges that women currently enjoy in this country. They'd make them more like men. No, God. God.
If she chooses, she will talk with her pastor, her priest, her rabbi, her imam. But it shouldn't.
She should talk to the priest and the rabbi and the imam and her parents before she goes out fucking around without birth control. Just saying. Maybe she should pay attention to what her pastor says before she gets herself in this situation. Excuse me. And it's not just her, it's him too. You got these men out there, raw dogging and shit. And guys, come on. Takes two to tango, except only one of them gets a get out of jail pass. Get out of jail free pass. And it's
not you. The government or Donald Trump telling her what to do with her body.
So should nobody tell anyone what to do about anything? I don't understand. Isn't a civilization we have certain laws we all agree on and we follow? Isn't that kind of what the whole deal is? Yeah? No, not with respect to the baby killing.
And think about it. The stories that Dr. Reddick shares with us, the stories we heard last night, the stories we've been hearing for 2 years.
The sob stories, right? The corner cases, which with just a little bit of digging, they're not as they're presented. The gut.
1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban.
Well, it depends on what you mean. What is a ban? A 6-week limit is not a ban, is it? I think 6 weeks. I mean, if you're going to have abortion, 6 weeks seems to be a little bit soon. 8 weeks. I mean, I'm saying if you're going to have abortion, maybe 8 weeks so a person actually knows they're pregnant. But anyway, beside the point. Notice they've taken the word ban, meaning that if they can't get abortion up to viability, I guess, 23 weeks or whatever, that's a ban. You see how that works? You see how that works? Oh my God. She is a master at this.
This includes Georgia and every state in the South except Virginia.
Well, let's look. I've got my phone. What does Georgia have to say about abortion? Let's see. Georgia. Go ahead. Georgia has a 6-week limit on abortion. It's not a ban. A ban is a 0-week limit. You don't get one. But see, let's change the English language to suit our political needs.
Virginia. Think about that when you also...
Well, that's different, SCE. You know that. Government can tell men what to do with their bodies anytime they want to. That's fine. Nobody says a damn thing. But a woman? Oh, no. Nope. Different.
Combine that with what we know has been long-standing neglect around an issue like maternal mortality.
Go look at the statistics, please. Again, an extreme corner case. And I could go through the litany and go.
Think about that. When you compound that with what has been long-standing neglect of women in communities with a lack of the adequate resources they need for health care.
Excuse me.
Prenatal.
Excuse me. Madam Vice President, you have been in office for 3.5 years. If these pressing issues were that big of a problem, you and Uncle Joe Biden, Lunchbox Scranton Joe Biden, would have rammed through some legislation. You didn't. You didn't do it. So, if this is such a pressing, humongous problem, why didn't you rescue these poor women in these communities that don't have health care? You didn't. Can you explain that, Madam Vice President?
During their pregnancy, postpartum. Think about that. And these hypocrites want to start talking about this is in the best interest of women and children. Well,
bitch, man. Oh my God.
Where you been? Where
you been? That's a good question, Madam Vice President. Where have you been on these pressing issues affecting women's health in communities that are not served properly by medicine? Where have you been? Donald Trump, Trump should just chop that and say, where have you been? Where have you been, ma'am? I would like to know.
When it comes to taking care of the women and children of America.
And you have done nothing. I know it sounds like the horse is dead, but it ain't. I'm still going to beat it. You did nothing in your term. Joe Biden did nothing in his term about these problems. Tell us why you didn't. Even blame the Republicans if you have to, but give us some reason why, for God's sake.
Where you been? How dare they?
How dare you, Madam Vice President, How dare you ignore these problems that you obviously were well aware of and you didn't do anything about them? Kind of like the border. Oh, what did you say, you evil Nazi? I know, it's crazy.
How dare they?
Geez, who cares what she's saying, Michelle? It's all bullshit anyway.
Come on.
Wow, okay. Well, it looks like there's no women or no men. Oh, there might be one or two. Who knows?
And we understand the impact of these bans.
Oh, now we're back to support.
And the horrific reality that women and families, their husbands, their partners, their parents, their children are facing as a consequence every single day. Since Roe was overturned, I have met women who were refused care during a miscarriage.
Well, that's terrible. I guess something needs to be done about that. But how does that affect our discussion about 99% of abortions? Sounds like the two cases you're probably going to refer to were more like medical malpractice, not any abortion bans. And besides, if a child is being miscarried or passes away in the womb, it's no longer an abortion. It's a dig and scrape, as I like to say, some medical term, D&C. It's not an abortion anymore. You see, dear, go on.
Wanted to have a child, suffering a miscarriage. I met a woman, I've actually met several.
She pulling out her southern accent here again? I think she is. Why does that say trust women? I do trust women. The vast majority of women who are smart enough to know what P and V means without birth control. They know what's going on. Trusting women to prevent the problem in the first place. Yes.
Who were turned away from the emergency room.
Oh, God.
One at early stages after the Dobbs decision came down told me with tears, she was with her husband, about how only when she developed sepsis did she receive emergency care.
Well, I don't know why that is, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what to say about that, Vice President. Madam, I don't know what happened. I think it has nothing to do with abortion. It sounds like it's a healthcare problem that somebody misjudged or misdiagnosed. I don't know. But go on. Keep salading it up here.
When she developed sepsis, did she receive emergency care?
Okay, well, that's terrible. It sounds like a bad doctor, not Donald Trump. Seraphim is here. There you. I'm just going to put that up there, Seraphim. Yes, you're exactly right. Yep. There's in the United States, about 70 or 80 million children have been taken out by their own mothers over the past 50 years. How many geniuses were in the womb, in utero, that were just sucked out with a vacuum cleaner? How many cures for cancer just got tossed in the trash? Because she wasn't ready. My college career.
And now we know that at least 2 women, and those are only the stories we know.
Because you couldn't find any more of them, because you got your team on it, and they said, well, we can only find these 2. And they're really not related to it. But that's okay, we'll go with it.
Here in the state of Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Died.
That's terrible.
Because of a Trump abortion ban.
No, it was because of medical malpractice is why she died. You know that, Vice President Harris. Come on. Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining babies from heaven here. Come on. She died because her doctors didn't treat her condition correctly. And it's a sad thing that she died, but it's not because of any abortion ban.
One, and we heard about her story last night.
This is a nail clipper that everyone is concerned about recently. Why? Because it is really different from ordinary nail clippers. It can easily cut off your thick and yellow fingernails and toenails. Although it looks very ordinary on the outside, but it has a super sharp double-arc cutting edge, can easily cut off thick nails smoothly, thereby preventing nails cracking and injuring toenails, and can easily cut wires and sticks. It's amazing. I wish I'd recommended it to you sooner. Not only that, the nail clippers come with a splash.
You know what also works well for clipping nails? Get a pair of side cutters like electronic side cutters that you strip wires with. Oh yeah, they work great. It's wonderful.
A vibrant 28-year-old young woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was ambitious. You know, I talked with her mother and her sisters about her.
Oh God.
And they described such an extraordinary life of a person. She was excited. She was working hard. She was a medical assistant. She was going to nursing school.
Yep.
Raising her 6-year-old son. She was really proud that she had finally worked so hard that she gained the independence. Her family was telling me that she was able to get an apartment in a gated community with a pool for her son to play in.
Wow. So all was going well. That's good. And again, she's going to try to say, well, Trump is not sympathetic to these people. Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
She was so proud. And she was headed to nursing school.
Good.
And her name, and we will speak her name.
Okay.
Amber Nicole Thurman.
Amber
Nicole Thurman.
Amber Nicole Thurman. Oh,
that's
God.
Right. And she had her future all planned out. And it was her plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's understand, just pause on that for a moment.
Okay.
She had her plan.
Good.
What she wanted to do.
Great.
For her son, for herself, for their future. Mm-hmm. And so when she discovered that she was pregnant, she decided she wanted to have an abortion.
Okay.
But because of the Trump abortion ban here in Georgia, she was forced to travel out of state to receive the health care that she needed.
Inconvenient, but still available. Go ahead.
But when she returned to Georgia, she needed additional care.
Oh, okay.
So she went to a hospital.
So she went out of state and got a botched abortion. Again, I don't understand, except maybe it was after the 6-week limit in Georgia. I don't know. Sounds like it wasn't.
But you see, under the Trump abortion ban, her doctors could have faced up to a decade in prison for providing Amber the care she needed.
Okay, but she already had the abortion. So it wasn't an abortion. It was a dig and scrape. Apparently some fetal tissue was left up in this one. I mean, it's a horrible situation. It really is. But she went to some discount abortion, apparently in some state where, I mean, if there's that much tissue left over, I mean, I don't even want to talk. Yeah. But the doctors in Georgia, I don't know why they didn't help her. That is not a ban. It's nothing to do with it.
Understand?
There was no child in there by that time. So it wouldn't be covered under the abortion rules, whatever they may be in Georgia.
What a law like this means. Doctors have to wait until the patient is at death's door.
Come on. Come on now. That's total horse shit.
Before they take action, you know.
No, that's not true. We might be talking about medical malpractice here, but she already had the abortion. A bad one. And it didn't take care of all of the problem in there, or the child, the pieces of the child. And this would have nothing to do with abortion. There was no child left in her. Her doctors fucked up. They should be sued for malpractice. They did something very bad. But it has nothing to do with Trump's and his abortion bans and all this other horseshit. I mean, you can make the case the 6-week ban, I guess you could say, in Georgia, made her go out of state. Okay, that's a fair discussion to have. But once she had the abortion and they botched it, that's nothing to do with the Georgia ban. What?
On the other side of my, you know, the other folks, Trump and his running mate, and they'll talk about, oh well, yeah, but I do believe in the exception to save the mother's life.
Yeah, I do too. And it's legal in all 50 states in the event that the mother is going to die. Vice President Harris.
Okay. All right, let's break that down, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's break that down.
Yeah.
Let's break that down. So We're saying that we're going to create public policy that says that a doctor, a healthcare provider, will only kick in to give the care that somebody needs if they're about to die?
Oh my God. Oh God in heaven. This is worse than I thought it was. This is bad.
Think about what we are saying right now.
Now, think about this too, if you would. Haven't they had like a majority in the Senate, or roughly a majority since 2022? So if they were so concerned about this, couldn't they have legislated it? Of course not, because they know they can't. Come on. This is all horseshit.
Saying that good policy, logical policy, moral policy.
Is Polska Bob here? Oh my God. Hello, Polska.
Humane policy?
See, here's the deal, Madam Vice President. Trump is not going to do jack shit about abortion because it's not a federal power anymore. If you have a problem in Georgia with whatever made-up story you think you have, talk to your state legislature and get them to change the law. It's not the federal government's problem anymore. Okay? There you go.
Is about saying that a healthcare provider?
Well, of course, Seraphim, she's copying him. Obviously.
Will only start providing that care when you're about to die?
No.
And so Amber waited 20 hours.
Yeah, her doctor's fucked up. Go sue them.
20 hours. Excruciating hours. Until finally she was in enough physical distress that her doctors thought they would be okay to treat her.
Sounds like they were really bad doctors. Now, I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to tie it in with there wasn't even a baby in there anymore. So it's not covered under any abortion law because it's not a baby, it's tissue. God damn. Oh, God.
But it was too late.
And it's terrible.
She
We
died
agree
of
with
sepsis.
that. That's horrible.
And her last words to her mother.
Oh, God.
Which her mother, as you know, tears up and cries every time she speaks it. Last words to her mother. Promise me you'll take care of my son.
Hello, I'm David Miliband, President and CEO of the International Rescue Committee. Our humanitarian focus.
So I met last night and I spent time with Amber's mother.
Yes, they are, SC. I know. I mean, anyone can see through this. She even admitted that it wasn't an abortion. It was extra tissue that from the botched abortion. So it wasn't an abortion anymore. It was just regular old healthcare, and they didn't act. It sounds like the doctors effed up in a bad way. Go ahead.
And her sisters.
Hey, Resurgence.
And they spoke about Amber, a daughter, a sister, a mother, with the deep love that you can imagine, and how terribly they miss her. And their pain is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Amber's mother, Shanette, told me that the word preventable is over and over again in her head when she learned about how her child died.
And I hope she files a humongous lawsuit against the hospital because it was malpractice that killed this poor woman. And we all feel bad. I mean, it's horrible. You know, young woman, you know, full of life, got a kid. It's horrible, but it's not Donald Trump's fault.
The word preventable. She can't stop thinking about the word that they spoke to her. It was preventable.
Who's
because
they?
You see, medical experts have now determined that Amber's death was preventable.
Yes, and that's why there's a big, fat, juicy malpractice suit. It should be filed. They fucked up.
And through the pain and the grief of her mother, who courageously told her story, I promised her, as she has asked, that we will make sure Amber is not just remembered as a statistic. That she will not just be remembered as a statistic. So that people will know she was a mother and a daughter and a sister, and that she was loved. Mm-hmm. And that she should be alive today.
Yes.
And that she should be alive today. And many of us remember, there's so many leaders here.
Oh, God.
From 2 years ago when the Dobbs decision came down.
Mm-hmm. You mean when you were in office and had 2 years allegedly to craft up some legislation, and you didn't?
We knew this could happen. There is a word preventable, and there is another word, predictable.
No. No. We're talking about medical malpractice here, dear.
And the reality is, for every story we hear of the suffering under Trump abortion bans, there are so many other stories we're not hearing. But where suffering is happening every day in our country.
Mm-hmm. Yes, in a lot of places.
An untold number of people suffering. Women who are also being made to feel as though they did something wrong. The judgment factor here is outrageous.
Really? Okay.
Being made as though to feel as though they are criminals. As though they are alone.
On Monday night, Kamala's campaign will face our most important fundraising deadline yet. If you're watching this, I need you to donate.
So to those women, to those families, I say on behalf of what I believe we all say, we see you and you are not alone, and we are all here standing with you. Standing with you. You are not alone. You are not alone.
That is correct, Brandon. That is correct.
So Georgia, we will not be silent.
I mean, wait, whoa. I just thought of something. I thought abortion was like the safest procedure that's ever existed in the history of mankind. Isn't that what you used to hear? It's safer than giving birth. Well, not in this horrible case. Didn't work out, did it?
And we will not be silent. But this is a healthcare crisis. This is a healthcare crisis, and Donald Trump is the architect of this crisis.
Oh, God.
He brags about overturning Roe v. Wade.
In
his own words, quote, I did it and I'm proud to have done it, he says. He is proud. Proud.
Yes.
That women are dying.
Oh, please. Come on.
Proud that doctors and nurses could be thrown in prison for administering care?
Donald Trump didn't do that, Madam Vice President. Some stupid state lawmaker did that. And the people of the state where that is happening can change the law. It's called democracy. I know.
Proud that young women today have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers?
No. No. What are you talking about?
How dare he?
Oh, how dare he?
How dare he? And in our debate last week, well, that was fun.
You know, I wasn't going to drink beer today, but I think I might have to go get some. Oh, God.
But, and I know everyone here paid attention to the words, though. The words, right? I'm trying to get another debate. We'll see. But in our debate last week, remember when he said everyone wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned? Well, exactly. I don't know who everyone is either. Because women have been arrested and charged for miscarriages. They didn't want that.
Nobody has been arrested for having a miscarriage. That's total horseshit. Come on now. Big town Finiums here. Trust women. Nope. Vincent Van, go fuck yourself. Trust me, you don't want another. Well, she believes that she was, who knows? I don't think Trump's going to do one, but who knows? We'll see.
I was speaking with a physician who is here, who has in her professional experience been administering care to girls. And what we know is that 12 and 13-year-old survivors of assault are being forced to carry a pregnancy to term.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. But go ahead.
They didn't want this.
You mean that Ohio case where they could have gotten the kid an abortion, but her mama was too scared to call and to get it done because it was her boyfriend that was abusing this young girl? You mean that one? Is that what we're talking about?
And couples just trying to grow their family being cut off in the middle of IVF treatments. They didn't want this.
Oh, here we fucking go again. God. The reason the pro-lifers object to some of the treatments is that a bunch of embryos are created and frozen, and the ones that don't use, they throw away, so they consider it an abortion. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that that's their point of view. And I mean, if you believe it starts at conception, well, okay.
And on that last point, you probably saw this week for the second time, Republicans in the United States Senate blocked a bill that would protect access to IVF treatment.
I wonder how much poison was in that bill, how many poison pills they dropped in.
Now consider, among the multitude of ironies, the fact that on the one hand, these extremists want to tell women they don't have the freedom to end an unwanted pregnancy. And on the other hand, these extremists are telling women and their partners they don't have the freedom to start a family.
The problem is that women eat this shit up, guys. They eat this shit up and they believe it. Like everything that she says is true. It's like, come on. Oh, God.
Okay. And they want to restrict access to contraception as well.
No, they do not. No, they do not.
And now Donald Trump says that he would personally cast his vote in Florida, which is where he now lives, to support their extreme abortion ban, just like the one that is here in Georgia.
Extreme abortion ban. Well, again, I think it's 6 weeks, or did they make it 15? Whatever. The people of Florida need to decide what they want to do. That's that. Something else to say.
Well, that's a whole different policy discussion that we'll have for another day. But let's understand, if he is elected again as president, Donald Trump will go further. But we know what we're up against, and we must speak of the stakes. We must remind. Everybody here knows, but we got to remind our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, the stakes are so high. Because if he is elected again, I am certain he will sign a national abortion ban.
Even though he says he wasn't going to. He will not. And besides, the federal government no longer has the fucking power. It's not in the Constitution. Oh, God.
Which would outlaw abortion in every single state. And
no. No.
He would create a national anti-abortion coordinator.
Nope.
Look at Project 2025.
He has nothing to do with Project 2025. You know that, Madam Vice President. The Heritage Foundation and others like that on the left put out policy position papers every election. And she pretends she doesn't know this. God almighty.
And force states to report on women's miscarriages and abortions. It's right there. I can't believe they put that Project 2025 in writing.
I'm sure medical statistics are already gathered for these things in some states. So I don't even know what she's talking about.
They literally put it in writing. They bound it. They handed it out. I mean, they are simply out of their minds.
I wonder if Trump can tag some position papers from the left on. It's probably too late, but that would have been maybe something to do. Find some radical whack job lefty outfit who puts together their vision for the future when Harris gets elected. That'd be golden, wouldn't it? Maybe Trump dropped the ball again. I don't know.
And it's clear that they just don't trust women. Well, we trust women. We trust women. And like Dr. Reddick said, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedoms, as President of the United States, I will so proudly sign it into law.
Yeah, you'll sign it into law and it'll be immediately sent to the courts because it's unconstitutional. The federal, how many times do you have to say this? 1,000 times? The Supreme Court said, Roe, abortion is not a federal issue under the Constitution. You're a lawyer. You should know that. And of course, she already does know that, but it doesn't matter because these half-wits and low-wits in this audience are, oh, yeah, rah, 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 rah. She is not a stupid human being. She's a very smart human being, and she knows what she's saying is bullshit. She has to.
Proudly sign it into law. Proudly sign it into law.
And then it'll be tossed out by the Supreme Court because you do not have the authority under the Constitution. Yeah, of course. What about men's reproductive freedom? It's never going to get traction, SCE. I'm sorry to say. Not going to happen. They could probably fiddle around a little bit with alimony like they did in Florida, which kind of makes sense, no lifetime alimony, but they're never going to make it so that men can also check out becoming a parent, forced by the government to become a parent. If you're a man, no problem. If you're a woman, no way, you can't do that. Right?
So, 46 days to go. And let us remember that momentum on this and so many issues, momentum is on our side. Let's remember, since Roe was overturned, every time reproductive freedom has been on the ballot, from Kansas to California to Kentucky, in Michigan, Montana, Vermont, and Ohio, the people of America have voted for freedom.
So you shouldn't be worried about it then, right? Let democracy take its course, and if people are so in favor of it, then it'll be the law that way. So what's the problem?
The people of America have voted for freedom.
Okay, so then they'll vote in their states to make it legal. What am I missing?
And not just by a little, but by overwhelming margins. from so-called red states to so-called blue states, providing and making clear also, this is not a partisan issue. This is not a partisan issue. And
come on. Oh no. No, it's a gender issue. It's a sex issue. It's male against female is what it is. We know that.
Proving that the voice of the people has been heard and will be heard again. And will be.
Now, I mean, here's the deal. Scott Adams, the Dilbert cartoon guy, he said it the other day on one of his podcasts. He goes, women are already the majority voters in this country, so they can pretty much pass any law they want to. So then go and thus do. Just all they got to do is get the women all agree, we want this, and they win. Guess what? Not all women are crazy baby killers. And they don't want other women to kill their babies either. And it's not just men that say that. Oh my God.
Heard again. So, 46 days to go in probably the most consequential election of our lifetimes. And with that, then today I ask Georgia, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we trust women? Do we believe in reproductive freedom? Do we believe in the promise of America?
Oh God.
And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless you.
Well, there you have it.
This stuff right here fixed my back pain. Now check this out.
There you go.
I had cancer when I was younger, and I had to have a spinal fusion surgery.
Shut up. Sorry about your cancer. I just shut up.
And doesn't move. Now I have tons of inflammation.
Won't let me pause.
Tons of pain.
Senator from Wyoming.
Yeah, now we can do that. Okay, so there you go. There's the vice president speaking to her supporters in Georgia about the solution, because that's all that matters. That's all that matters. There you go. I'm going to go eat lunch. You guys have a great day. See you later. Bye.